Welcome back to World Information HD channel. If you're someone who enjoys discovering the hidden wealth in your pocket change or diving deep into the fascinating world of rare American coins, you're in for a treat today. Because in this video, we're uncovering the top 10 most valuable and rare USA Washington $quarter coins that are worth not just hundreds or thousands, but millions of dollars. That's right. Some of these seemingly ordinary coins could be hiding in plain sight and are now fetching unbelievable prices at auctions due to their rarity, minting errors, or historical importance. So, hold on to your seats and maybe even check your coin jar, because one of these quarters could make you a millionaire. Let's dive into the treasure chest and start with number 10. Today, we're diving into an exceptional coin that many collectors often overlook: the 1791 to 2001 P Mint Mark Washington quarter Vermont state coin. At first glance, it might look like just another quarter in your change jar, but did you know this coin could be worth as much as $33,499 in today's market? Yes, you heard that right. This seemingly ordinary quarter has a story rich with history, errors, mintage quirks, and collector frenzy that has driven its value into the five-figure range. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone curious about rare coins, this video will walk you through the full history, design features, rarity, grading, and how this 2001 P Vermont Washington quarter became one of the most valuable state quarters in circulation today. So sit tight and let's uncover the hidden value of this incredible coin. Let's begin with a little background on the Washington quarter series and how the Vermont coin fits into the timeline. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932, in celebration of the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Since then, it has become a staple of U.S. coinage, replacing the standing Liberty quarter. Fast forward to 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the iconic 50 State Quarters program, a multi-year plan to release quarters featuring unique designs for each of the 50 states. Each year, 5 states were honored in the order in which they ratified the Constitution or were admitted into the Union. Vermont, the 14th state, was released in 2001 as the final coin of that year's batch. But here's where things get interesting. The 2001 P Vermont quarter wasn't just another commemorative coin. Due to a combination of minting errors, limited high-quality surviving specimens, and collector demand, this quarter has turned into one of the most valuable state quarters ever minted. Now let's explore the design. The reverse of the Vermont quarter pays homage to the state's rugged beauty and revolutionary spirit. It features a dramatic image of a man collecting sap from sugar maple trees, an iconic Vermont tradition. The words, "Freedom and Unity," appear above the design, Vermont's state motto, symbolizing its commitment to both individual liberty and communal responsibility. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and used since the quarter's first release in 1932. The P Mint mark, located near the bottom right of Washington's ponytail, indicates it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. But what makes this specific coin special isn't just the artistry, it's what went wrong and what collectors desperately want. The Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering 423,400,000 Vermont quarters in 2001. That's a massive number. So, how can a coin that had over 423 million examples become so valuable? The key lies in high-quality surviving examples, error coins, and early die strikes. Most of the Vermont quarters entered circulation and suffered heavy wear and tear. Very few were preserved in mint state, MS67 or higher, condition, the kind that collectors crave. Even fewer have unique minting errors, which is where the big money comes in. Additionally, during 2001, the Philadelphia Mint was under pressure due to the popularity of the state quarter series. This led to occasional die fatigue, striking anomalies, and other error conditions, creating rare variants of the coin. Let's talk about the most valuable types of Vermont quarters. Point 1. Off-center strike. Some Vermont quarters were struck off-center, where the coin's design doesn't align with the blank properly. Off-center strikes of 10% to 50% with clear date and mint mark can fetch $1,000 to $5,000 depending on condition. Point 2. Double die reverse (DDR). A rare batch of Vermont quarters show evidence of double lettering or doubling in the tree branches and sap buckets. These are known as double die reverse (DDR) errors, and are extremely sought after. Top graded examples have sold for $8,000 to $12,030. Die cracks and cuds. Die cracks, or cuds, are raised lines or blobs caused by cracked dies. On Vermont quarters, this can be seen on the lettering or tree trunk. These fetch anywhere from $500 to $2,000 depending on the size and visibility of the flaw. Point 4. Missing clad layer. Some Vermont quarters are missing their outer clad layer on one side, exposing the copper core underneath. These coins look odd, with one side being a dull brownish red. These errors can be worth $3,000 to $7,000 if in high grade. But now let's focus on the Holy Grail. In 2024, a pristine 2001 Vermont State quarter with an unbelievable combination of errors was sold at auction for a whopping $33,499. This coin featured the following: a full double die reverse, with doubling clearly visible on Freedom and Unity, and the sap buckets a 45% off center strike, yet both the date and mint mark were still visible. A die crack across Washington's portrait. A grading of MS68 by PCGS. One of the highest known for this coin. It was truly a 1 in a million find, and collectors knew it. Bidding was fierce, and the final price stunned even seasoned numismatists. That one sale catapulted the Vermont quarter into legendary status among state quarters. If you're looking to understand how valuable your Vermont quarter might be, you need to know about coin grading. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with higher grades commanding higher prices, MS60 to MS63. Typically worth $5 to $50, MS64 to MS66, worth $100 to $1,000 depending on demand, MS67 and above, extremely rare and can fetch $5,000 to $15,000 plus. Error coins in MS66 plus can skyrocket to $20,000 to $33,499. So, a clean Vermont quarter might be worth a few dollars, but one with the right condition and error can make you thousands. So now the big question: can you find one? Absolutely. But it takes effort, knowledge, and patience. Here are some tips. Search old coin jars and rolls. Many people still have Vermont quarters lying around from the early 2000s. Visit coin shows. Dealers often overlook state quarters. You might spot something valuable. Check eBay and online auctions, study listings, compare photos, and see what error types are trending. Use a magnifying glass. Even minor doubling or a small die crack can mean big money. Send to grading companies. If you think you've found something special, get it graded by PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity and condition. The Vermont quarter represents more than just a state. It symbolizes a golden era of U.S. coin collecting, a unique American tradition, maple sugaring the possibility of discovering real treasure in your pocket. Change. Collectors are drawn to the coin's artistic beauty, historical relevance, and potential for rare errors. And because so many quarters were damaged in circulation, finding a mint condition or error Vermont quarter is like striking gold. To wrap up, let's remember, the 2001 Vermont State quarter might look common, but under the right conditions, it can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Error coins, high-grade examples, and rare varieties are the key to unlocking that value. The most expensive Vermont quarter sold for $33,499, and there are likely more out there just waiting to be discovered. So next time you come across a 2001 Vermont quarter with the P mint mark, don't just spend it. Inspect it. You might be holding a rare treasure that could change your life. Today's video is going to leave you stunned. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of one very specific and seemingly ordinary coin, the 1978 no mint mark Washington quarter dollar. On the surface, it might look like just another quarter you'd find in your pocket change, but some examples of this coin have shocked collectors and auction houses alike, fetching prices as high as $42,374 in today's market. So how does a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents become a hidden treasure worth thousands? What makes this particular quarter so unique? And how can you identify one of these high-value coins in your own collection? Stick around as we take you on a journey through the history, rarity, features, and current market value of the 1978 no mint mark Washington quarter. This is more than just a coin. It's a piece of American history and a potential goldmine hiding in plain sight. Let's begin. To truly appreciate the 1978 no mint mark quarter, we first need to understand the origins of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin was originally intended to be a one-year commemorative issue, but it was so well received that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter permanently. The obverse, front, of the coin features a left-facing profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The reverse, back, of the coin features an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, representing strength and peace. The Washington quarter would remain relatively unchanged for decades, becoming one of the most recognizable coins in American circulation. By the year 1978, the Washington quarter had already seen decades of circulation. However, this year was special. It marked the last year before the U.S. Mint began ramping up changes in design and production quality as it transitioned toward modern minting technology and new designs. The 1978 quarter was struck in copper-nickel-clad composition, as silver had been eliminated from quarters since 1965 due to rising metal costs. Most 1978 quarters were produced in 3 mint locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; San Francisco, S mint mark for proofs. The majority of quarters struck in 1978 came from the Philadelphia Mint, which did not place a mint mark on its coins at that time. At first glance, these quarters may seem completely ordinary. But a closer look reveals that some rare examples, particularly those struck without a mint mark and with specific error types or high grades, have become incredibly valuable. If you've ever wondered why some coins have mint marks and others don't, here's the simple explanation. Prior to 1980, the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark on its coins. So, if you find a 1978 quarter with no mint mark, it likely came from Philadelphia. This is not automatically a rare error. Millions were minted this way. However, here's where things get exciting. Not all no mint mark 1978 quarters are created equal. Some are in such pristine condition, or were struck with such extraordinary precision, or display unique minting errors, that their value has skyrocketed. These are the quarters collectors hunt for. These are the quarters bringing in tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Let's talk numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 521 million quarters in 1978. That's right, more than 500 million coins. So, yes, 1978 no mint mark quarters are extremely common in circulation. However, the value lies in the details. Only a tiny fraction of those 521 million coins were struck in near-perfect condition, known as mint state 67 or higher. The grading scale goes from 1 to 70, with MS 70 being a flawless coin. Most coins in circulation today are in grades MS 60 or below due to wear, nicks, and handling over the decades. Finding a 1978 no mint mark quarter in MS 67 or higher, without scratches, discoloration, or wear, is extremely rare. It's these coins that attract the attention of top collectors and auction houses. In fact, one such coin, graded MS 67 by a top-tier grading service, recently sold for a jaw-dropping $42,374. Besides pristine condition, another major factor in a coin's value is the presence of errors or varieties. Here are some types of valuable minting errors known to exist for the 1978 no mint mark quarter. Double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the coin is struck by a die that has been engraved twice, slightly offset, creating a doubling effect on the design. Look closely at Washington's face, the word Liberty, or the date. Off-center strikes. These errors happen when the coin isn't properly aligned with the dies. Coins struck significantly off-center, especially if the date is still visible, can fetch hundreds to thousands. Clipped planchets. When a coin is cut improperly from a metal sheet, it may have a curved clip missing from its edge. These errors are highly collectible. Die cracks and cuds. These are raised lines or blobs on the coin caused by cracks or breaks in the minting die. Transitional errors. Though rare, transitional errors can happen when a coin is mistakenly struck on the wrong planchet, e.g., a silver or foreign coin planchet, If you come across a 1978 no-mint mark quarter with one of these features, especially in high grade, you may be looking at a coin worth thousands. So now you're probably wondering, how do I know if my 1978 no-mint mark quarter is valuable? Check the date and mint mark, make sure it says 1978, and there is no mint mark below the eagle on the reverse. That confirms it's from Philadelphia. Examine the condition, look at the surface of the coin. Is it shiny and free from wear? Does it have sharp, well-defined details? The fewer marks and scratches, the better. Use a magnifying glass. Check for doubling on the letters or numbers, especially Liberty, in God We Trust, and 1978. Also inspect Washington's eye and mouth for doubling. Weigh the coin. A standard copper nickel quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it's significantly heavier or lighter, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. Consult a professional grading service. If your coin looks promising, consider sending it to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. A certified grade can dramatically increase its market value. Let's take a look at some real-world examples of what these coins have sold for. A 1978 no-mint mark quarter graded MS67 by PCGS sold for $42,374 in a heritage auction sale. This is one of the highest graded coins of its kind known to exist. A 1978 quarter with a double die obverse, although less pristine in condition, fetched over $3,000 due to its unique error. Another example with a major off-center strike and full visible date was auctioned for $1 for $50, while most circulated 1978 quarters are only worth face value. It's these outliers, the best preserved, error-rich examples, that command serious money. If you're a beginner collector or even a seasoned enthusiast, here are a few tips to help you find or maintain valuable quarters. Always use gloves. Oils from your skin can damage the coin's surface. Store in a safe place. Use acid-free holders, coin flips, or slab cases for protection. Stay educated. Keep up with numismatic news and auction results. Coin values change over time. Hunt in rolls. Search through bank rolls of quarters. You never know when a high-grade 1978 coin might show up. Network with other collectors. Join online communities, forums, and local coin clubs. Sharing knowledge can lead to big discoveries. Despite being nearly 5 decades old, the 1978 no-mint mark quarter continues to be a coin of interest in the numismatic community. It's a reminder that treasures don't always look flashy. They can be hiding in your coin jar, your wallet, or your childhood coin collection. With the rise of online marketplaces and increased collector interest, values of rare coins have been steadily climbing. The 1978 quarter is part of a golden age of collectible modern coins, struck with older technology, yet close enough in time to be found in circulation today. Coins like this one connect the past with the present. They're tangible artifacts of American history, and for those lucky enough to find the right one, they can also be life-changing. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1978 no-mint mark Washington quarter dollar. A coin that proves not everything valuable has to be made of gold. From its historical roots to its jaw-dropping market value of $42,374, this humble 25-cent piece has earned its place in the spotlight. Today, we have an incredible story about a modern coin that has surprised everyone in the numismatic world. We're talking about the 1981 Washington quarter, a coin many people overlook as just another pocket change item. Yet some rare examples of this very coin are now worth up to $37,466. Yes, you heard that right. This is a 25-cent coin that can potentially be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So sit tight as we dive deep into the fascinating history, design, minting process, rare errors, and current market value of the 1981 Washington quarter. Let's begin our journey into the world of American coinage. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Originally intended to be a one-year commemorative coin, its popularity led to it becoming the permanent design for the quarter dollar. The coin featured a left-facing portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. Over the years, the design has seen minor adjustments but remained largely the same until the State Quarters program began in 1999. However, between 1932 and 1998, the classic Washington design ruled the quarter, including the year 1981. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which produced hundreds of millions of Washington quarters during the 1981 mintage. In fact, over 575 million 1981 D Washington quarters were struck. That's right, more than 500 million. With so many quarters produced that year, most people wouldn't think twice about holding on to one. But here's where things get interesting. While the majority of these coins are only worth their face value, a few rare specimens have fetched massive sums at auction due to their pristine condition, unique errors, or special minting characteristics. How a 25-cent coin can be worth $37 for 66, you might be asking. How can a coin with such a high mintage be worth over $37,000? The answer lies in a combination of factors: rarity and condition, strike quality, collector demand, and unusual minting errors. Let's break it down. First, there are very few examples of the 1981 D quarter that exist in perfect mint state condition. We're talking about coins graded MS67 or higher by trusted grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. Out of hundreds of millions minted, only a small handful have survived without scratches, blemishes, or wear. Second, collectors love the challenge of finding high-grade examples of common coins. The Washington Quarter series is especially popular among U.S. coin collectors. This high demand for top-condition coins drives up the price astronomically. Lastly, if a coin has any sort of die error, double strike, off-center strike, or is a proof coin mistakenly released into circulation, its value can skyrocket. Some 1981 D quarters with these anomalies have stunned collectors and fetched thousands of dollars in auctions. One such coin, in absolute pristine MS67 plus condition, sold at auction for an astonishing $37,466. This wasn't just because of its grade but also because of its rarity in that condition from the Denver Mint batch. Coin grading is an essential concept when talking about value. It determines how well a coin has been preserved since its minting. The scale ranges from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70. For modern coins like the 1981 D Washington Quarter, collectors typically look for coins graded MS65 or higher. An MS65 1981 D quarter might sell for around $25 to $100, while an MS66 could be worth a few $100s. However, once you reach the elite level of MS67 or higher, the numbers jump dramatically. Only a handful of 1981 D quarters have achieved that status, making them highly valuable. The 1981 D Washington Quarter continues the design legacy of John Flanagan. On the obverse, you'll see a left-facing portrait of George Washington, the word Liberty, above his head the motto, "In God We Trust." To the left, the year 1981. At the bottom, the mint mark, D. To the right of the bow in Washington's hair on the reverse, you'll see a bald eagle with outstretched wings holding a bundle of arrows, 2 olive branches beneath the eagle, the words United States of America, and E pluribus unum, above the denomination, $quarter. At the bottom, as for composition, the coin is made of copper nickel clad, not silver. The outer layers are 75% copper and 25% nickel, while the core is pure copper. The total weight of the coin is 5.67 grams. Now let's talk about the exciting part: errors. Error coins are among the most sought-after pieces in numismatics. Even minor mistakes can lead to big money. Here are some notable 1981 D quarter errors that have been reported. 1. Off-center strike. If the coin wasn't properly aligned during the strike, you may find coins with the image shifted to one side. These can be worth between $100 and $1,000 plus depending on the degree of misalignment. 2. Double die averse deal. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a slight misalignment, resulting in doubled lettering or numbers. If you notice doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust, you could be holding something special. 3. Clipped planchet. Sometimes, the metal blanks used to strike coins are improperly cut, resulting in a coin that appears to have a missing piece. These clipped planchet errors can fetch $50 to several $100s. 4. Die cracks or cuds. A die crack appears as a raised line on the coin's surface, and a cud is a blob of metal resulting from a die break near the rim. Both types can increase the coin's value if they are prominent. 5. Transitional errors. Though rare for 1981, if a coin was struck using a planchet intended for another denomination or year, it could be a major error worth thousands. Always examine your 1981 decoders closely, and if you suspect you have an error, get it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service. How to identify and sell a high-value 1981 decoder. If you think you might have a valuable 1981 D Washington quarter, follow these steps. Examine the coin closely. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for errors, doubling, or unusual markings. Check the condition. If the coin is extremely well preserved with no scratches or discoloration, you may have a mint state example. Weigh and measure. Compare its weight and diameter to standard specs to check for any unusual variations. Consult a professional. Reach out to a local coin dealer, numismatist, or use online grading services like PCGS or NGC. Get it graded. A high grade is the difference between a $5 coin and a $37,000 coin. Sell at auction. For rare coins, auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, or Stack's Bowers are your best options to reach serious collectors. Should you invest in 1981 decoders? Here's the truth. Most of them are only worth face value. But if you're a coin collector, sorting through rows of quarters could pay off big time if you find that one rare piece. A great strategy is to collect Washington quarters by year and mint mark in high grades. It's also wise to store your coins in protective holders, avoid touching them with bare hands, and keep them in a cool, dry place. The key is patience, attention to detail, and a passion for the hobby. The Washington quarter is more than just a coin. It represents American history, art, economics, and patriotism. From 1932 to today, it has undergone changes, but it continues to be one of the most collected U.S. coins. The 1981 D Mint Mark quarter stands as a reminder that hidden treasures can exist in plain sight. That seemingly ordinary coin in your change jar or dresser drawer might just be worth a small fortune. So, the next time you come across a 1981 D Washington quarter, don't ignore it. Examine it closely. If it's in perfect condition or has a strange marking, it could be worth more than you ever imagined, maybe even $37,466 or more. Remember, coins are like tiny time capsules. They hold stories, history, and sometimes immense value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner, this hobby offers endless surprises. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of a truly special and rare piece of American coinage, the 1982 D Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar. Believe it or not, this small, everyday coin can be worth as much as $34,990 in today's coin market. That's right, a single quarter dollar, originally worth just 25 cents, could potentially pay off your car loan or even be a solid down payment on a house. So how did this happen? What makes the 1982 D quarter so special? Is it really that rare? And how can you check if you have one of these hidden gems in your own pocket change, coin jar, or old coin collection? Get ready, because in this in-depth video, we're going to explore everything you need to know about the 1982 D Washington quarter, its fascinating history, the secrets behind its value, what sets it apart from other coins, and how collectors and investors are cashing in big today. Let's dive right into it. To truly understand the value of the 1982 D Washington quarter, we have to go back in time, all the way to 1932. That was the year the U.S. Mint introduced the Washington quarter to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The Washington quarter replaced the standing Liberty quarter, and the new design was meant to celebrate the ideals of leadership, freedom, and patriotism. The obverse side of the coin features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, while the reverse originally displayed a majestic eagle with outstretched wings. The Washington quarter has seen many changes over the decades, from different mint marks to metal compositions and commemorative designs. But one year in particular, 1982, stands out as one of the most peculiar and historically important in the coin's evolution. The year 1982 was a transitional time for the U.S. Mint. Due to rising production costs, the Mint made the critical decision to stop producing coins for collectors in proof and uncirculated sets. This means that collectors were forced to get their coins the old-fashioned way, from circulation. But here's the kicker. 1982 was also one of the few years in modern U.S. Mint history where no mint sets were produced. That might not sound like a big deal, but for coin collectors, it was a huge deal. Normally, these sets are an essential source for acquiring high-quality coins with clear details and minimal wear. As a result, finding high-grade coins from 1982, especially those with strong strikes, full details, and minimal circulation damage, became incredibly difficult. That includes the 1982 D Washington quarter. Now, let's focus specifically on the 1982 D Washington quarter. This coin was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark on the obverse side of the coin, just next to Washington's ponytail. The total mintage for the 1982 D quarter was relatively high, approximately 480 million coins. So, at first glance, it doesn't seem rare. But as we dig deeper, we find that condition is everything. Due to the lack of uncirculated mint sets in 1982 and the generally poor quality of coins struck that year, most of the 1982 D quarters that you'll find today are heavily worn or have weak strikes. That makes high-grade examples extremely scarce and extremely valuable. Collectors began to notice how tough it was to find sharp, lustrous, high-grade versions of this coin, especially with full strike and no major contact marks. Over time, the coin's rarity and mint state condition, especially in MS66 or higher, became widely recognized in the coin collecting world. The lack of mint sets in 1982 had a major effect on all coin denominations, including the penny, nickel, dime, and quarter. But it hit the Washington quarter particularly hard. Why? Because quarters are among the most commonly used coins in everyday commerce. That means they get handled, dropped, scuffed, and worn much faster than smaller denominations like pennies or nickels. Without uncirculated mint sets to preserve high-quality specimens, the majority of 1982 D quarters were released straight into circulation and quickly degraded. So, in today's market, if you can find a 1982 D quarter in pristine, mint state condition, you're holding a genuine rarity, a piece of modern American history that's worth far more than face value. Now to the part you've all been waiting for, the market value of the 1982 D Washington quarter. As of today, a certified high-grade 1982 D quarter, especially those graded MS67 or MS68 by PCGS or NGC, can fetch as much as $34,990 in auctions or private sales. Let that sink in. $34,990 for a single coin that once bought a gumball from a machine. Even coins graded at slightly lower mint state levels, like MS65 or MS66, can still bring in several hundred to several $1,000s depending on luster, strike sharpness, and eye appeal. It's not just about having the coin, it's about having one in exceptional condition. If you're lucky enough to have a roll of old quarters from the 1980s sitting around, now might be the perfect time to go through them carefully. Now here's something even more intriguing. Some collectors have identified subtle varieties within the 1982 D quarters, including differences in the date font. Specifically, there are two known varieties in 1982 quarters, small date and large date. While these varieties are more commonly associated with Lincoln cents from the same year, certain experts believe that some 1982 D quarters may also display slight differences in the size and shape of the date numerals. These subtle variations can be extremely attractive to die variety collectors. Though the small date variety for the 1982 D quarter hasn't been widely cataloged or confirmed as official by PCGS or NGC, die variety enthusiasts continue to study and submit coins with these interesting characteristics. If proven to be distinct varieties, their values could increase dramatically in the future. How to identify and grade your 1982D quarter. So, how do you know if you have a valuable 1982D quarter? Here's a simple guide. Check the mint mark. Make sure it has a clear D on the obverse, just next to Washington's ponytail. Look at the date. It must be 1982. Not 1983 or 1981. Evaluate the condition. If the coin is scratched, dull, or worn down, it's likely only worth face value. If the coin has full luster, no visible wear, sharp details, and minimal marks, it could be in mint state condition. Consider professional grading. If you suspect your coin is in exceptional condition, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. A high grade from a professional service can increase the coin's value exponentially. Remember, even a minor grade difference can mean thousands of dollars in the coin collecting world. If you own a high-grade 1982D Washington quarter, you have a few options. Hold for investment. The value of this coin has been steadily rising as more collectors realize how scarce high-grade examples are. Sell at auction. Reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or even eBay, with proper certification, can help you reach serious buyers. Private sale or dealer. Trusted coin dealers may offer cash if you have certification in hand. And no matter what route you choose, do your research. Don't rush to sell your coin without knowing its true worth. The 1982D Washington quarter may not be made of silver or gold. It may not be from the 1700s or part of a rare era set. But it has become one of the most sought-after modern coins in the world of U.S. numismatics, and for good reason. Its value lies in a perfect storm of events: a year with no mint sets, per-strike quality across the board, a coin released straight into circulation, and a strong demand among collectors for top-grade examples. All of this combined has turned an ordinary 25-cent piece into a coin worth up to $34,990. So, check your coin jars, raid your old pocket change, and dig into those childhood coin albums. Because you never know, that dull-looking quarter from 1982 could be your ticket to a small fortune. Today's video will absolutely blow your mind. We're diving deep into the world of modern American coinage to uncover the jaw-dropping truth about one coin you might have in your pocket or hidden away in an old coin jar right now. This is the story, the mystery, and the true value of the 1987P Washington $quarter coin, a coin that, in certain conditions, has fetched a shocking $29,009 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A Washington quarter from 1987 can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So grab your coin collections, sit back, and get ready to learn everything there is to know about this hidden gem of American currency. We'll cover its historical background, why it's valuable, key features to look for, how to determine if your coin is rare, and the record-breaking prices collectors are paying today. To understand the value of the 1987P Washington quarter, we need to go back to the beginning. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became a staple of American coinage. The original design was created by John Flanagan, a sculptor who captured a strong, commanding portrait of George Washington on the obverse, or front, of the coin. On the reverse side, you'll find an eagle with outstretched wings, a powerful symbol of American pride and freedom. This design remained largely unchanged for decades, right up until the state quarters program began in 1999. But in 1987, the Washington quarter was still going strong in its traditional design, and it was being minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. The 1987P Washington quarter, the one with the P mint mark, which stands for the Philadelphia Mint, seems like an ordinary coin. But in certain conditions, it's anything but ordinary. The 1987P quarter, common coin or rare treasure, most people assume that modern quarters, especially those minted after the 1960s, are only worth face value. After all, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1987 alone. In fact, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 582 million 1987 P Washington quarters. So how can a coin that was minted in the hundreds of millions be worth $29,009? The answer lies in the details. Not every coin is equal, and not every 1987 P quarter is ordinary. Some of these coins are struck with incredible precision, have flawless surfaces, or possess unique minting errors that make them highly collectible. Let's dig deeper into why some of these coins are commanding such high prices. What makes a 1987 P quarter valuable? There are several factors that can turn a common 1987 P quarter into a coin worth thousands. 1. Mint state condition. This is one of the biggest reasons behind the massive value jump. Coins that are in mint state condition, meaning they have never been in circulation and show no signs of wear, are significantly more valuable. A 1987 P Washington quarter graded at MS67 or higher is extremely rare. For those unfamiliar with grading, coins are rated on a scale from 1 to 70. A grade of MS67 means the coin has exceptional strike quality, no visible marks under 5x magnification, and great eye appeal. The highest known graded specimens of the 1987 P quarter are extremely limited in this condition, and collectors are willing to pay big bucks for them. 2. Minting errors and varieties. Another big value booster is minting errors. These are coins that have been struck incorrectly during the manufacturing process. Some errors that can add massive value include double dies, where the image is duplicated slightly off center strikes, where the coin design is shifted away from the center clipped planchets, where part of the coin is missing wrong planchet errors, where a coin is struck on the wrong metal blank. Coins with these kinds of errors can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. 3. Full strike details. Many Washington quarters suffer from weak strikes, where the design isn't fully formed. A 1987 P quarter that has a full strike, especially on the hair details of Washington's portrait and the feathers of the eagle on the reverse, is much more desirable to collectors. 4. Low population in high grade. The reason some coins sell for $29,009 is not just because they're rare, it's because they're rare in top condition. There may only be a handful of MS67 or MS68 examples known to exist. And when multiple collectors want the same coin, bidding wars drive the price sky high. Now let's talk numbers. How much have collectors actually paid for the 1987 P Washington quarter? In a recent auction, a pristine 1987 P quarter graded MS68 by PCGS sold for a staggering $29,009. That's right, almost $30,000 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents. Other high-grade examples in MS67 condition have sold for thousands as well. Prices vary depending on demand, eye appeal, and how many similar coins are available in the market. But one thing is clear, if you have one of these top-grade quarters, you might be sitting on a small fortune. How to check if you have a valuable 1987 P quarter? Now that you know what makes this coin valuable, how can you check your own coins? Here's what to do. 1. Look for the mint mark. P. The Philadelphia Mint used the P mint mark on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Make sure your coin has that mark. 2. Check for wear. If your coin has been in circulation and shows signs of scratches, discoloration, or wear on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, it likely isn't worth much. However, it's still worth examining carefully for errors. 3. Examine the details. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to look closely at the coin. Check for crisp details, especially in Washington's hair and the eagle's wings. A full strike can make a big difference. 4. Look for errors. Check for off-center strikes, doubling in the lettering or numbers, or any unusual features like cracks or extra metal. If something seems off, you may have an error coin on your hands. 5. Consider getting it graded. If you believe you have a pristine or error coin, send it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate the coin, assign it a grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder. This dramatically increases your chances of selling the coin at a premium. If you're serious about finding or selling valuable coins like the 1987 P Washington quarter, here are some expert tips. 1. Handle with care. Always handle coins by the edges. Use gloves if possible. Fingerprints and scratches can reduce the coin's value. Point 2. Store properly. Keep your coins in acid-free holders or albums. Avoid PVC holders, which can damage coins over time. Store them in a cool, dry place. Point 3. Stay educated. Study price guides, follow coin forums, and keep up with auction results. Knowledge is power in the world of numismatics. Point 4. Buy from reputable dealers. Whether you're buying or selling, make sure to work with certified, reputable coin dealers who have a history of honest transactions. Point 5. Be patient. Finding a high-value coin takes time. Sometimes you'll search through thousands of coins to find one gem. But the reward is well worth it. Some people are shocked to learn that a modern coin like the 1987 Washington quarter can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. But there's a reason this is happening more and more. Collectors are starting to realize that high-grade modern coins are incredibly rare. While older coins from the 1800s and early 1900s are obviously valuable, they're also usually worn from circulation. Finding a modern coin in pristine mint state condition, especially from a year when the mint didn't intend for the coins to be preserved, is like finding a needle in a haystack. On top of that, as more collectors enter the market, demand for top-grade coins is skyrocketing. That drives prices up and makes coins like the 1987 quarter more desirable than ever before. So here's the $1 million, or should we say $29,000, question. Do you have a 1987 Washington quarter in your possession right now? Check your coin jars, your old wallets, your junk drawers. Look through those rolls of quarters from the bank. Because you never know, one of them might just be the key to a huge payday. Even if your 1987 quarter isn't worth $29,009, it could still be worth much more than face value if it's in excellent condition or has a rare error. And for coin collectors, the real treasure is the hunt itself. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. It was originally introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse features a profile of Washington, while the reverse originally showcased an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. Over the decades, the Washington quarter underwent numerous design changes, including the famous State Quarters program that began in 1999. But throughout most of its life from 1932 until 1998, the classic Washington design remained mostly unchanged, giving rise to millions of coins, many of which are still in circulation today. In 1990, the United States Mint was still striking quarters with this original eagle reverse design. This was the last decade before the quarter underwent a massive transition to the state quarters. While 1990 was not known for a significant coin release, what makes the 1990 Washington quarter fascinating is not its widespread circulation, but its rare errors, condition, and grading, all of which have caused some of these coins to skyrocket in value. Before we get into the rare errors and values, let's look at the basic specifications of the 1990 Washington quarter. Mint, Denver. The mint mark, composition, clad, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper. Core diameter, 24.3 mm. Weight, 5.67 grams. Designer, John Flanagan. Mintage, over 927 million coins were struck at the Denver Mint in 1990. Yes, over 927 million. So, with such a high mintage, how could this coin possibly be worth nearly $24,000? The answer lies in condition, rarity of preserved high grades, and error types. For the average person who finds a 1990 quarter in their change, the reality is that it's likely only worth face value, 25 cents. The vast majority of these coins have been circulating for decades, acquiring scratches, dings, and general wear. In circulated condition, they're not rare. But here's the twist: coins in perfect condition or coins that contain unique mint errors are the ones that catch collectors' eyes and wallets. In these cases, prices can jump from cents to thousands of dollars. So, how do you spot one of these valuable examples? One of the primary factors that drives up the value of any coin is its grade. Coin grading refers to the condition of a coin and is typically measured using the Sheldon scale, which ranges from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70. Now, the 1990 D-quarter is common in circulated grades. However, a mint state 67 or higher is extremely rare for this coin. Out of the hundreds of millions minted, only a tiny fraction were perfectly preserved and later professionally graded. Some coins in MS67 or MS68 have fetched prices of over $5,000 to $10,000, and in ultra-rare cases with exceptional luster, strike, and no visible flaws, coins have reached the jaw-dropping market value of $23,774. To find a coin like this, collectors often search original bank rolls, mint sets, or uncirculated collections. And yes, some people have actually found them in pocket change. Let's look at some real-world auction results. In 2018, a pristine 1990 D Washington quarter graded MS68 by PCGS sold at auction for $3,760. Another specimen, graded at MS67 plus, crossed the $5,000 mark in a private sale. The rarest known example, certified at nearly flawless MS68 plus, was valued at $23,774, according to expert dealers and collectors tracking the high-end quarter market. Why such a huge price tag? Because at these high grades, the 1990 D quarter becomes a population rarity. Collectors who want to complete a high-grade registry set of Washington quarters are willing to pay a premium to secure one of the best examples known to exist. Aside from high grades, era coins from 1990 D are another major driver of value. Some of the most expensive and desirable quarters from this year include minting mistakes that occurred at the Denver Mint. Here are some known errors you should be on the lookout for. Off-center strike. Coins struck off-center, especially by 10% or more, are worth significantly more. A 1990 D quarter struck 15% off-center sold for over $600. Double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the coin is struck with a die that has a doubled image. It can be visible on the date, the word, liberty, or in God we trust. These errors are rare but can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Clipped planchet. When the coin blank is improperly cut, you'll see a crescent missing from the quarter's edge. These mistakes can command $150 to $500. Wrong planchet errors. If a 1990 D quarter was mistakenly struck on a nickel or dime planchet, this could fetch $1,000 plus at auction. Die cracks and cuds. Minor errors like die cracks or retained cuds, if dramatic enough, can add $50 to $300 in value. If you have a 1990 D quarter with any of these features, it's worth getting it authenticated by PCGS or NGC.so. You've found a 1990 D quarter and think it might be worth more than pocket change. Now what? Follow these steps. Examine under magnification. Use a jeweler's loupe or coin microscope to spot doubling, die cracks, or other anomalies. Compare with known errors. Use coin forums and error databases to compare your coin's features with documented examples. Check the luster and condition. Coins with original mint luster and no visible scratches or bag marks are more desirable. Send to a grading service. The most trusted coin grading companies are PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. They'll give your coin an official grade and encapsulate it for protection and resale. A certified coin not only holds more value but is also easier to sell in auctions or to collectors. Now let's talk money. If you have a valuable 1990 D quarter, or you're looking to buy one as an investment, where should you go? Places to sell: eBay. List your coin with high-resolution photos and accurate descriptions. Auction-style listings often do well. Heritage Auctions, one of the top numismatic auction houses in the world. Great Collections, a trusted platform for certified coin auctions. Coin shows and dealers. Reputable dealers can give you appraisals and help you connect with serious buyers. Facebook groups and forums. Communities like Coin Talk or PCGS Collectors Club are active spaces for sales and advice. Places to buy. Use trusted coin marketplaces like AppMex, PCGS CoinFax, or NGC Registry to find high-grade coins with verified values. Want to hunt one down? Here are expert tips. Search mint sets. Uncirculated mint sets from 1990 are a great source of untouched coins. Buy unsearched rolls. Some sellers offer bank-wrapped quarter rolls from the 1990s that may still contain gems. Visit local coin shops. Dealers often have bins of quarters where rare finds are waiting. Check pocket change. Yes, even today, valuable quarters show up in everyday circulation. Join coin hunting groups. You'll learn where people are finding them and what to look for. Let's not forget the human element. Many people have found rare coins in the most unexpected places. One collector discovered a near-perfect 1990 quarter while going through their grandfather's old coin jar. It turned out to be an MS-67, and it later sold for over $7,000. Another collector at a flea market bought a coin album for $20, only to realize one of the quarters was a rare off-center 1990 error, worth over $1,200. You never know what you'll find. So there you have it. The 1990 Washington quarter might look ordinary at first glance, but for those who pay attention to detail, know how to grade, and understand what to look for, it could be worth thousands, even $23,774 in the right condition. It's coins like these that make the hobby of collecting so thrilling. A simple piece of metal turns into a historical artifact, a treasure, and sometimes even a life-changing payday. Make sure to check your pocket change. Examine your old coin jars. And if you find a 1990 quarter, don't just spend it, study it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another valuable coin video. Until next time, happy collecting! Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1994 Mint Mark Washington quarter, a coin that, under the right conditions, can be worth up to $17,200. Yes, you heard that right. $17,200 for a single 25-cent piece. In this video, we'll explore the rich history of the Washington quarter series, why the 1994 variant is turning heads in the coin collecting world, and how to identify one that might be worth a small fortune. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's uncover the incredible journey of this modern yet surprisingly valuable coin. Let's start by understanding the origins of the Washington quarter itself. Introduced in 1932, the Washington quarter was designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The coin replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became a staple in American currency. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, based on a famous bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. The reverse originally featured an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, with two olive branches below. The Washington quarter became so beloved and essential that its design remained virtually unchanged for decades. It wasn't until the 1999 State Quarters program that a rotating design was introduced on the reverse. But in 1994, we were still in that classic Washington quarter era, with the eagle on the reverse and Flanagan Washington on the obverse. Now let's zoom into the year 1994. By this time, the U.S. Mint was producing coins with more advanced technology, but quality control issues and rare errors still occurred, and those are precisely the factors that make some 1994 quarters so valuable today. In 1994, the Philadelphia Mint struck an estimated 825,600,000 Washington quarters with the PE Mint mark. That's over 825 million coins, a massive number. So how does a coin that's so common end up being worth $17,200? Well, the answer lies in condition, rarity, errors, and demand from collectors. Let's break that down. First, we have condition and grading. The value of any coin depends heavily on its condition, and coin grading is the process that determines this. The scale ranges from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no flaws visible under 5x magnification. Coins graded by services like PCGS or NGC are assigned a numerical grade that gives collectors an idea of the coin's quality. For the 1994 Washington quarter, most circulated examples are worth face value, just 25 cents. Even lightly circulated coins may only bring in $1 or $2. But when you find a 1994 P quarter in mint state condition, especially MS67 or MS68, the value skyrockets. An MS67 graded coin might sell for $200 to $300, while MS68 examples are extremely rare. It's these high-grade, nearly flawless examples that bring in thousands of dollars. In fact, one of the finest known examples of a 1994 P quarter graded MS68 sold for an astonishing $17,200 at auction. Only a few such coins exist, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them because of their pristine condition and rarity. Let's talk about why MS68 quarters are so rare. Even though the mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1994, the vast majority went straight into circulation. They were used in vending machines, dropped in parking meters, jostled around in pockets, and clinked together in cash registers. All of that wear and tear damages the surfaces of the coin. Coins that remain in pristine mint state are usually found in original mint rolls or government-issued mint sets that were stored properly. Even then, striking flaws, small scratches, or bag marks can disqualify a coin from earning that elite MS68 grade. That's why such coins are extremely scarce and highly desirable. But there's more. Another key reason the 1994 P quarter is sought after is because of errors and die varieties. Let's explore some of the error types found on 1994 P Washington quarters. One notable error is the double die obverse. This happens when the die used to strike the coin has a slight misalignment, or doubling, resulting in doubled features on the coin, often visible in the lettering or in George Washington's eye or hair. Double die coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on the severity and visibility of the doubling. Another rare error is the off-center strike, where the coin is not properly aligned with the dies during the striking process. This can result in a quarter with a portion of the design missing or pushed off to one side. If the date and mint mark are still visible, these errors are particularly valuable. Off-center 1994 P quarters can bring in $100 to $500 or more, depending on the degree of the error. A third error to watch for is the clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is missing due to an error during the cutting of blank planchets. These clipped planchet errors are unusual and can also add considerable value, sometimes over $200. Then there's the bra strike error, which occurs when the coin is struck outside the collar that holds it in place. These coins appear wider and flatter than normal quarters and can fetch prices upwards of $150 to $300. If you happen to come across a 1994 P Washington quarter with any of these errors in uncirculated condition, you may be holding something truly special. Now, let's turn our attention to what makes the Philadelphia Mint important in all this. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint have the P mint mark and are generally more common than coins from Denver or San Francisco. However, certain years, like 1994, can produce anomalies in strike quality and condition that create opportunities for collectors. Because of the sheer volume of coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, they're more prone to small variations and quality control lapses. That's why many of the known error coins and high-grade survivors come from Philadelphia. Collectors always pay attention to Philly coins for these reasons. Let's now talk about market demand and collector interest. The value of a coin is not just determined by rarity, but also by how much someone is willing to pay for it. The 1994 P quarter has seen rising interest among collectors due to the relative scarcity of high-grade specimens and the thrill of error coin hunting. When a coin like this appears in public auctions or on major coin trading platforms, bidding wars often ensue, pushing prices into the thousands. One such auction took place where a perfectly graded 1994 P quarter in MS68 condition sold for $17,200. It was one of the only examples known to exist in such high quality, and the bidding was intense. This shows just how passionate and competitive the coin collecting world can be. Let's now go over how you can identify a valuable 1994 P quarter in your own collection. First, look at the mint mark. If there's a small P to the right of Washington's ponytail, that means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Second, examine the condition. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to look for scratches, bag marks, discoloration, or wear. The fewer flaws, the higher the grade. Third, look for errors. Check for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, clipped edges, or anything that seems out of the ordinary. And finally, compare your coin to known examples. Use coin grading guides, online images from PCGS and NGC, and price lists to get a better sense of what your coin might be worth. You can also send your coin in to be graded by a professional service. PCGS and NGC are the most respected coin grading companies in the world, and having your coin authenticated and graded can significantly increase its market value, especially if it earns a high grade or error designation. Let's now talk about some real-world examples of valuable 1994 P quarters that have sold. A standard MS-66 coin might sell for $75 to $100. A high-end MS-67 example might reach $300 or even $500. An MS-68 coin, especially with eye appeal and perfect surfaces, can command between $5,000 and $17,200, depending on auction conditions and collector demand. Error coins can bring even more in rare cases. A 1994 P quarter with a severe double die error and mint state condition has sold for over $2,000. Off-center strikes and clipped planchets in mint state have sold for over $600. Now let's address the question you may be asking: how likely am I to find one of these coins? The truth is, finding a high-value 1994 P quarter in your pocket change is rare. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and history lovers. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another jaw-dropping coin story. Today's episode will take you deep into the fascinating world of the 1995 D Washington quarter dollar, a coin you might easily overlook, but one that could be hiding a fortune in plain sight. Yes, you heard that right. This unassuming quarter with the Denver Mint mark has a current market value soaring up to an astonishing $19,277. That's right, just 25 cents in face value could make you nearly $20,000 richer. So how did this happen? What makes this particular coin so valuable? And most importantly, could you have one hiding in your change jar or old coin collection right now? Stay tuned because we'll cover everything, from its rich historical background, minting process, errors, grading standards, to how you can authenticate and possibly sell a 1995 D Washington quarter for thousands. Let's dive into the story of this legendary piece of modern coinage. To truly appreciate the 1995 D Washington quarter, we first need to understand the legacy of the Washington quarter itself. The series began in 1932, in honor of the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a profile of America's first president on the obverse, a symbol of leadership, strength, and democracy. Initially, these coins were made of 90% silver. However, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition in 1965, a change that remains in effect today. By 1995, the Washington quarter had been in circulation for over 60 years, and while it was still a regular part of everyday commerce, numismatists began paying more attention to small design changes, mint marks, and rare errors that made some quarters stand out from the rest. The 1995 D quarter came at a time of increasing interest in coin collecting in America. While millions were struck at the Denver Mint, only a select few emerged with characteristics that make them incredibly valuable today. Let's talk about the coin's minting history. The D Mint mark indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint in Colorado. In 1995 alone, the Denver Mint struck over 1.1 billion Washington quarters. That's a massive number. So how can a coin from such a huge batch be worth so much? The answer lies in quality, rarity of condition, and errors. While the vast majority of these coins were produced for everyday transactions and worn down over time, a very small percentage survived in mint state condition, that is, without ever entering circulation. Fewer still have achieved near-perfect grades such as MS-67 or MS-68. Coins with such high grades are extremely rare, and this rarity is what drives their value up into the five-figure range. To the untrained eye, a 1995 D quarter may look identical to every other quarter in your wallet. But collectors know that even tiny details matter. Here's what you should be looking at. Obverse, front features the left-facing bust of George Washington. The word Liberty, arches over his head. The date, 1995, sits just below his neckline. The motto, "In God We Trust," appears to the left of his neck. The mint mark, D, is found to the right of Washington's ponytail, just above the date. Reverse, back displays an eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows. Two olive branches flank the eagle. The inscriptions, "United States of America," and $quarter circle the edge. The motto, "E pluribus unum," is written just above the eagle. Collectors especially value well-struck examples, coins with sharp, clear details in Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, and even the letterings. Any softness in these areas may reduce the value. So what's the big deal with the 1995 D quarter? The high value of this coin doesn't come from precious metals. It's not made of silver or gold. Instead, its value comes from a combination of scarcity and pristine condition, grading, and in some cases, mint errors. Coins that are certified as MS67 or higher by reputable grading agencies like PCGS or NGC have sold for thousands at auction. In fact, one such coin sold for an eye-watering $19,277 in a public auction. It was a near-flawless specimen with sharp details, a clean surface, and no visible wear, a dream find for collectors. In addition to condition, some 1995 D quarters also feature rare die errors or striking anomalies, such as double dies, especially in the lettering or the date, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and cuts. These errors dramatically increase a coin's rarity and value. Some rare error coins from 1995 have fetched thousands even in lower grades simply because they're so unusual. So how do you know if your 1995 D quarter is valuable? It all comes down to grading. Grading assesses a coin's condition on a scale from 1 to 70. A grade of MS60 to MS63 means the coin is uncirculated but has minor contact marks or blemishes. MS64 to MS66 means the coin is in very sharp condition with only slight imperfections. MS67 or MS68 is where the real money lies. Coins that are nearly flawless. To get an official grade, you'll need to send your coin to a grading service such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. They will authenticate, grade, and encapsulate your coin, providing a certificate and serial number that verifies its value. Let's look at some actual sales data. These are not rumors. These are real results from respected auction houses and online coin markets. In 2022, a 1995 D Washington quarter graded MS68 by PCGS sold for $19,277. Another example in MS67 plus condition sold for $4,500. Even MS66 graded coins can fetch between $200 and $500, depending on the buyer and the market demand. Rare error coins like double dies have been auctioned off for $2,000 to $7,000. Even when slightly circulated. As you can see, it's not just a coin, it's a potential jackpot hiding in plain sight. Here are some expert tips to help you identify a potentially valuable 1995 D quarter in your collection. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect for sharp details, clean edges, and die errors. Check for doubling in the lettering, numbers, or mint mark, a strong indicator of value. Weigh your coin. Standard clad quarters should weigh around 5.67 grams. Anything heavier or lighter could indicate a striking error or planchet issue. Look at the rims. Coins with off-center strikes or misaligned dies often have unusual or incomplete rims. Avoid cleaning your coin, even if it looks dirty. Cleaning can scratch the surface and lower the grade, killing its value. Once you've identified a potentially valuable coin, what next? Here are the best places to sell or get appraisals. eBay, a great platform if you have solid pictures and a PCGS or NGC certification. Heritage Auctions, one of the biggest and most trusted names in rare coin auctions. Great Collections, specializes in certified coin auctions. Local coin dealers, good for immediate cash offers, though often lower than market value. Facebook groups and coin forums, for networking and getting feedback before selling. Make sure to always deal with reputable buyers and never ship your coin without proper insurance and tracking. To wrap up, The 1995 D Washington quarter is a shining example of how even modern coins can hold incredible value. While billions were made, only a small handful have survived in near-perfect condition, and fewer still contain valuable errors. So next time you're going through your spare change or old coin collection, take a closer look. That worn-out-looking quarter might just be worth thousands, or even close to $20,000. It's stories like these that keep the world of numismatics exciting and full of surprises. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, the thrill of discovering a valuable coin is like no other. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions, and don't forget to subscribe for more rare coin discoveries. Until next time, happy collecting, and may you find a 1995 D quarter that changes your life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the hidden treasures of American coinage. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video about rare and valuable coins you might just have in your pocket change. Today, we're going to talk about a quarter that doesn't usually get a lot of attention, the 1998 P Washington quarter. It might look ordinary, even boring at first glance, but believe me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Some rare and high-grade versions of the 1998 P quarter have shocked collectors and experts alike by fetching thousands of dollars at auctions, up to a staggering $18,378. So sit back, grab your coin jar, and maybe you'll find out you're sitting on a gold mine. Let's get into it.to really understand why the 1998 P Washington quarter is so valuable. We first need to take a quick look back at the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, and it featured a profile of George Washington on the obverse, or the front, of the coin. This quarter quickly became the standard 25-cent coin in the US, and it has undergone many changes over the years. But through all of them, Washington's image remained the face of the quarter. In 1998, the Washington quarter still had its original Flanagan design. That would change dramatically the following year, in 1999, when the 50-state quarters program began. So the 1998 quarter marks the last year of the classic Washington quarter design before the state quarters took over. That alone gives it historical importance. So what does the P mean in the 1998 P Washington quarter? Well, it stands for the Philadelphia Mint. In 1998, quarters were produced at multiple mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number of quarters that year, with 896,268,000 coins struck. That's nearly 900 million coins. So at first glance, you'd think the 1998 P quarter is too common to be valuable. But remember, just because a coin is common doesn't mean all examples of it are worthless. Certain factors, like condition, rarity of errors, and special varieties, can dramatically increase a coin's value. Let's talk about the design for a second. On the obverse, or the front, of the coin, we have John Flanagan portrait of George Washington. Above Washington's head is the word Liberty, and below it is the year 1998. To the left is the phrase In God We Trust, and to the right is the all-important mint mark P. On the reverse, you'll see a classic depiction of an eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with two olive branches below it. Around the top are the words United States of America, and below that, E pluribus unum. The denomination, $quarter, appears at the bottom. This traditional design was used until 1998, making that year the final chapter of a 66-year legacy before the explosion of the state quarter series. Why is the 1998 P quarter valuable? Now let's get into the million-dollar question, literally. Why is the 1998 P Washington quarter worth up to $18,378? It comes down to three main things: minting errors and varieties, high-grade condition coins, collector demand for final year issues. Let's break these down one by one. Mint errors are by far one of the biggest factors behind a coin's sky-high value. When a mistake happens during the minting process and a coin with that mistake somehow gets released into circulation, it can become extremely desirable to collectors. Here are some of the rarest and most valuable errors and varieties found on the 1998 P. Washington quarter. 1. Double die obverse. DDO. One of the most famous types of minting error is the double die obverse. This happens when the die that stamps the coin gets misaligned or impresses the image twice, resulting in a visible doubling of letters or numbers. Some 1998 P quarters have been found with doubling on the word Liberty or In God We Trust. These can easily sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on how dramatic the doubling is. Point 2. Off-center strike. Another rare error is the off-center strike, where the design is not properly centered on the coin. Depending on how far off the strike is, these coins can range in value from $100 to over $1,000.30. Clipped planchet error. This happens when the blank metal disc used to make the coin, called a planchet, is improperly cut. A portion of the coin might be missing or oddly shaped. These coins are highly collectible and can sell for $200 or more. Point 4. Broad strike error. A broad strike error occurs when a coin is struck without the collar that normally shapes it. As a result, the coin looks flat and wider than normal. A 1998 P quarter with this error in uncirculated condition has sold for more than $500.50. Wrong planchet error. This is an extremely rare and valuable error. It happens when a coin is struck on a blank meant for another denomination, for example, a quarter struck on a nickel or dime blank. These can sell for thousands of dollars. Let's move on to another major reason the 1998 P quarter can be worth so much. Its grade. Coin grading is done on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. Coins that are graded MS65 or higher, that's mint state, are considered to be in uncirculated condition, and the higher the grade, the higher the price. Now here's the kicker: most 1998 P quarters were heavily circulated. They've been in pockets, vending machines, cash registers, you name it. So finding one in MS68 or MS69 condition is incredibly rare. And those rare high-grade coins? They've sold for up to $18,378 at auction. If you happen to find a 1998 P quarter in pristine, untouched condition, maybe from a mint set or original bankroll, it's absolutely worth getting it professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC.so. How can you tell if your 1998 P quarter is valuable? Here's a checklist to help you identify a rare and potentially valuable specimen. Look for doubling. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubled letters or numbers, especially on Liberty and In God We Trust. Inspect the strike. Is the coin off-center? Does it have a clipped edge? Look for signs of minting errors. Check the surface. Does the coin have a full luster? No scratches? That might indicate a high-grade condition. Look at the edges. Are they even and round, or oddly shaped? Any unusual edges could indicate a mint error. Mint set or roll source? Coins from mint sets or original rolls have the best chance of being high-grade. Now let's look at some real-world sales to prove the 1998 P quarter isn't just hype. A 1998 P Washington quarter graded MS68 by PCGS sold at auction for $18,378. That's the highest recorded price for this coin and shows how condition is everything. Another example, a 1998 P with a double die obverse in MS66, sold for $3,500. A 1998 P quarter with a dramatic off-center strike went for $750 at a major coin auction. Even more modest examples in MS65. MS66 condition consistently sell between $100 and $300. If you're interested in finding or collecting the 1998 P Washington quarter, here are some tips. Start with pocket change. Yes, it sounds crazy, but rare coins are still out there in circulation. Check coin rolls. Buy rolls of quarters from banks and search through them. This method is called coin roll hunting. Visit coin shows. You might find a dealer with 1998 P quarters at reasonable prices. Use a 10x magnifier. Small details can make a huge difference. Store them properly. Keep any coins in high-grade condition in a safe holder to avoid damage. The 1998 P Washington quarter might be common in number, but certain versions are anything but ordinary. With the right mix of condition, rarity, and luck, one of these coins could fetch you thousands of dollars. Remember, coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and attention to detail. Whether you're in it for the history, the hobby, or the money, there's something thrilling about discovering that a humble 25-cent piece might be worth $18,378 or more. So go check your change, dig through that old coin jar, and who knows, you might just be holding on to a fortune without even knowing it. My hands literally shook when I found out what this simple 2021 P Washington quarter dollar is actually worth. You might be carrying one of these coins in your pocket or hidden inside an old coin jar, and without knowing it, you could be holding on to a piece of metal that collectors are willing to pay over $14,000 for. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around because in this video, we're diving deep into the incredible history, minting secrets, collector demand, and current value of the 2021 P Washington quarter dollar coin, and what makes this modern-day coin so extremely valuable. To understand the value of the 2021 quarter, let's rewind and look at the origins of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and was designed by John Flanagan. Since then, the Washington quarter has gone through multiple design changes, from the original Eagle reverse to the State quarters, America the Beautiful series, and now the brand new American Women quarters. But in 2021, something unique happened. The U.S. Mint released a special design known as the Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site quarter, and it became the final coin in the America the Beautiful quarters program. Now, let's focus on the P Mint mark. The P on a U.S. coin stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most prominent minting facilities in the country. The 2021 Washington quarters with a P Mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and millions of them were produced. So you might be wondering, if millions were made, how can this coin be so valuable? Well, the answer lies in a combination of rarity, errors, condition, and collector demand. Let's get straight to the point. Why is one of these 2021 P quarters worth over $14,000? The main reasons are: 1. Minting errors. Certain 2021 P quarters were struck with incredible errors, things like off-center strikes, die breaks, double dies, missing layers, and dramatic planchet errors. One of the most sought-after error varieties is the struck-through grease error, where part of the design appears missing because debris or grease clogged the die during striking. Others include clipped planchets or double-struck coins, which are extremely rare and highly collectible. 2. High-grade condition coins that are graded by services like PCGS or NGC and receive a top grade, such as MS68 or MS69, are incredibly valuable. Why? Because finding a modern coin in flawless mint state is much rarer than you think. Even fresh from a bank roll, most coins have nicks, scratches, or minor blemishes. A 2021 P quarter graded MS69 can fetch thousands. One recently sold at auction for $14,187, making it one of the most expensive modern quarters ever sold. 3. Final coin of the series. The 2021 quarter featuring the Tuskegee Airmen marked the end of a historic coin program that ran from 2010 to 2021. Collectors love completion, and many are looking to own the final coin in pristine condition, especially one minted in Philadelphia with a known error or high grade. So how do you know if you have a valuable 2021 P quarter? Here's what to check. Look for a P Mint mark right under the words, "In God We Trust." On the obverse, front, of the coin, examine the reverse side for the Tuskegee Airmen design. It should show a fighter pilot with the Moton Field Control Tower in the background. Use a magnifying glass to check for any minting errors, such as doubling in the text, missing elements, or anything that seems off. Compare your coin's shine, detail, and edges with online images of known high-grade quarters. If yours is nearly perfect, it might be worth submitting for grading. If you think your 2021 P quarter might be worth something, here's what to do next. Don't clean the coin. cleaning can destroy its value. Take clear, close-up photos of both sides. Submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation. You can list it on auction platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Great Collections once graded. Collectors are constantly searching for rare variations, and a well-preserved 2021 P quarter with the right era or grade could change your life financially. The Philadelphia Mint wasn't the only one producing valuable 2021 quarters. The Denver Mint D and San Francisco Mint S also released coins, but it's the Philadelphia quarters that have made the most headlines due to the era types and rarity of mint condition finds. Always check your spare change, rolls from the bank, or pocket coins. You might just discover a hidden treasure. So there you have it, a modern-day coin minted just a few years ago, now worth over $14,000 in the right condition. It just goes to show that even recent pocket change can carry massive value. If you found this video helpful or surprising, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss another valuable coin tip. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you want help identifying your own 2021 P quarter. Thanks for watching, and remember, always check your change.